The Witcher Legacy is a fantastic looking game that promises an immersive and thematic Witcher experience. However, despite this promise, I'm only about 50% sure I should get involved with The Witcher Legacy. I'm not quite sure that this is the game for me. What interests me about this campaign has more to do with Go On Board's legacy than it does with The Witcher Legacy. My interest in The Witcher Legacy stems from my experience with the two previous Witcher games from Go On Board, The Witcher Old World and The Witcher Path of Destiny. So today I'm going to look at what I think is working for me with this game, and I'll address some serious reservations I have about backing The Witcher Legacy. Welcome to Treehane Miniatures. The type of games that Go On Board makes tend to be IP-based games with very accessible gameplay mechanisms. And while this may draw criticism from some hardcore gamers, I think it's an appropriate way to handle these popular franchises. IPs like The Witcher, Cyberpunk, and Tekken have the potential to bring in many fans of the IP who may not be hardcore board game enthusiasts. Therefore, the gameplay should be interesting, straightforward, and easy to learn. My experience with both of the previous Witcher games has been positive. Despite the conspicuous Witcher theme and glorious artwork, these games are much more mechanically driven than thematically driven affairs. What I mean by this is that the choices made by the players in the game are driven by the desire to outplay opponents around the table rather than trying to achieve a thematic outcome. Both of the previous Witcher games received some criticism for this thematic disconnect. However, this works for me. I'm more of a mechanistically oriented gamer. I don't particularly like having my gameplay session broken up by endless paragraphs of storyline. A single paragraph explaining my objectives at the beginning of a session, and one paragraph revealing the outcome at the end of a session is all I really need. For me, the game's mechanisms need to stand on their own apart from the theme. Even The Witcher Path of Destiny achieved this well, I feel. I've played the game many times, and somewhere around the 5th play, I stopped reading the story altogether. The basic card play at the heart of the game stands on its own as a light and fun card game. Another thing that I appreciate about Go On Board is their outstanding production value. Some call their games overproduced. Me, I like nice things. I upgrade my games with neoprene mats, metal coins, and dual-layer player boards from the secondary market anyway. Having officially upgraded components right from the start is way more convenient and often more affordable. So this track record for Go On Board is what has me interested in The Witcher Legacy. What sets The Witcher Legacy apart from the two previous Witcher games is that Legacy is a cooperative story-driven campaign game. It is also designed to be a true legacy game. Taking advantage of the legacy mechanisms is the default way to play. However, it does look like Go On Board is making some concessions in this regard to preserve replayability. The gameplay revolves around two states. You're either exploring or you're fighting. The gameplay mechanism for these two elements is card-based and appears to use The Witcher Old World gameplay as its foundation. Multi-use cards are the key to exploration and combat. These cards can be upgraded throughout the course of the game to increase movement distance, enhance attributes, and bolster your combat skills. For movement, you'll use the symbols printed on the lower left of the card to determine how far you can move. This differs slightly from The Witcher Old World, where you had to play a card with a specific terrain type symbol to move to that terrain. In The Witcher Legacy, the number of symbols present at the bottom of the card determines how far you can move. You always move between specific locations, taking the paths that connect to points of interest. The more symbols you see on the card, the further you can reach. You don't have to use all the symbols. You can stop wherever you need, but if you do, you can't move on this turn again. As far as I know, the specific symbols on the lower left of the card are attribute symbols, and the type of symbol does not affect movement. Each location has an available action to take advantage of, as well as an exploration aspect. This exploration can advance the story, reveal side quests, or otherwise enhance the thematic immersion of the gameplay. Combat is intuitive and tactical. This system was one of my favorite parts of The Witcher Old World. Brawls are fought using universal action cards. Moreover, these cards are also your health points. The number of cards you have in your hand and deck equals your health condition. The same goes for your opponents. Basically, you play one or more cards from your hand to create an attack combo. Every card has a colored border, or border of color, on the left side of the card and potentially one or more colored tabs attached to that border. These colored tabs inform the player of what color card border they can play on top of this card to continue the combination. So looking at this extreme 5-card combo example, we can see that the first card has a blue border with a green tab. This means that we can play a green bordered card on top of this blue card. This green card has both a red and purple tab, which means we can play either a red or purple card on top of this green card. This continues as long as we decide to play the appropriate colored cards on the same colored tabs. We could have immediately played this final red card on top of the green card. However, this would have ended our combo because this red card has no color tabs that we could have used to play additional cards. The symbols on the borders are in effect once played, and the symbols on the tabs come into play once an identical colored card is played on top of it. The symbols of each type are tallied to determine enemy damage, player defense, or other effects. The Witcher Legacy introduces a new combat mechanism. In the case of especially hard enemies, the entire team is involved in battle. This increases the level of cooperation between players. These group opponents are truly deadly, putting to the test not only your individual power, but also your ability to strategize together. If you want to emerge victorious from a brawl against a foe like this, you must communicate, share your resources, and constantly readjust your tactics. I like that Go On Board is going to great lengths to enhance the gameplay of The Witcher Old World and not simply wrapping a story around those existing mechanisms. In addition to the 2 core mechanisms of exploration and combat, there are a few others. You will journal your adventure to log key decisions you've made throughout the campaign. This can be accessed at any time to reminisce about your adventure or to use as a refresher if it's been a while since your last game session. You can improve a range of abilities such as support, analysis, strength, and charisma to become the most powerful Witcher you can be. Abilities on cards can be enhanced with removable stickers, increasing the stats on your player board, and there are character development cards to track the level of your Witcher. Additionally, there are skill tests that can play out much like Dice Poker did in The Witcher Old World. Skill test cards will lay out what is required for success, whether it's sets, runs, or a full house, etc. You will roll and re-roll a set of 6-sided dice in an attempt to successfully pass the skill test. From what I can see, the story for The Witcher Legacy looks to be very rich and involved. This is also where I start to lose interest in this game. What scares the shit out of me is the claim that the main story campaign contains over 700 pages of text.
Front and back!
If I wanted to read 700 pages of text, I would have stayed in school. I get that this is a me problem, and that this level of thematic integration is exactly what so many Witcher fans have been clamoring for in the 2 previous Witcher games. For me personally, I don't like it when gameplay is interrupted with paragraphs, if not pages, of text. I find that this breaks the gameplay loop and actually reduces my immersion in the experience. I much prefer a thematic preface that precedes the gameplay, and then some sort of epilogue at the end of the session that details how the story has developed based on how well we played. I also prefer one-off game sessions where I don't have to track stats or storylines from one game session to another. So basically, that game already exists for me in the form of The Witcher Old World. And what has me excited about this campaign is that so many of the monsters come with components that make them compatible with The Witcher Old World. Go On Board even released an update that states there will be a separate add-on that contains just these monsters for use with The Witcher Old World. The add-on won't be available until all monsters are revealed in this campaign. Even if I ultimately decide not to back The Witcher Legacy, there is still something here for me to improve my Witcher experience. I think that this shows the amount of respect that Go On Board has for Witcher fans. Well, that is all I have for you on The Witcher Legacy. I would like to thank my amazing channel members for supporting what I do on this channel. You too can become a channel member for as little as $1.99 per month and receive perks such as early access to videos, extended versions of our painting tutorials, and even a tier that lets you choose which miniature I paint next. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to join our growing community that may be neutral but not indifferent.